most important part of the service to make it nice and quick. Take your oil cap off and then just slightly pull the dipstick. Otherwise, what you're doing is when you're letting the oil flow downwards without creating a passageway for air at the top, it's creating almost like a vacuum and it takes forever to come out. Whereas when you open up the cap and pull the dipstick, it lets it flow along. I've got a makeshift oil tray to catch all of the waste oil in. So that'll go underneath with me. A flattering angle of me. So we're going to start with undoing the sump plug, which is just here. This is your oil sump, which holds all of your oil for the engine. You let that plug out, that bolt out, and all the oil's going to come flying into my makeshift tub. And then once we've done that, we're going to change the oil filter as well. All that's going to do is filter out any of the particles in your oil, make sure that your engine keeps running nice and healthy, no contaminants get in and break it. And then pull, and then all of your oil is going to come out. Not a lot of oil because it's only a little 1 litre, but there's just a little bit of residue around this sump plug. I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like anybody's used the crush washer when they've last serviced it. Alright, so come to loosen up the oil filter. I have unfortunately left my oil filter clamp removal tool thing at work. So what we're going to do is we're going to force it off. So we're going to be able to use that as leverage to spin it off. So now I can take my oily screwdriver back. I can clean that in a bit when you've all gone home. And now the filter should, hopefully without splashing, because Daniel will shout at me.
And it did.
And it did.
All over me. Thanks, Jack.
Sorry, love. Crush washer that goes on your sump plug. So that means that when you put your plug and your bolt, whatever you want to call it, into your sump, that crushes and it creates a nice seal. That means that no oil, hopefully, is going to spill out onto my floor.
Even more than it has.
Even more than it already has. Put the bolt in. I know you can't really see anything. I just need to screw it in a little bit.
So
that'll keep, just dry it off just so I can see what I'm doing. And then we're going to tighten it up. Finger tight for now. That'll do. Give the area another quick wipe. Ideally I should have had my brake cleaner, but I've blooming left it. Again, I'm good at leaving things. There we go. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to tighten it down. Now, you don't need to go mega tight. You need to go to the point where you can feel the crush washer just crush that tiny little bit. And then I like to go a little, just a tidgy bit more. Not overly tight, it's not going to crack the sump, but if I wipe everything down, you should be able to see that sump seal in between the sump plug and your oil sump.
That's camera action.
So I'm going to do the world's most awkward unboxing, because I am one click under an Aygo on my jack stands. But yeah, really. So this is your oil filter. This is going to have all of the oil in the engine passing through it. Not all at once, obviously, it can only hold so much. But the paper filter inside of it, it's just going to filter out, go away. It's going to filter out any contaminants inside of the engine oil. Make sure that nothing gets stuck where it shouldn't do and cause any issues. Now, what you'll see on the edge of there is a rubber ring, a rubber seal. What we're going to do is, because I've made a bit of a mess, get some old oil. You can use new oil, old oil, it doesn't matter for a seal. And we're just going to spin it around the seal until it's nice and moist, damp. And then just up here onto the oil filter housing, we're going to tighten that up, and we're not going to do what the previous owner did, and we're just going to do it hand tight. Doesn't need to be mega tight, don't need to use any tools to put them back on. As long as it's threaded on, hand tight, you should be absolutely fine. So that's it for the service part underneath. We've drained the oil, we've changed the filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the top, we're going to fill up the oil, make sure that there's nothing leaking straight out the bottom. As long as there's no leaks, we're going to change the air filter, and then we're going to go inside and we're going to change the cabin filter. So under there you can see capacities. We've got 3.6 litres on the dry fill, 3.1 litres on a service fill, which is what we're going to be doing, and the filter takes 100 millilitres. Let's get that done.
Right, so we've got it just under the 2 mark there, because we spoke a bit on Jack's floor, which he is mad about. But Jack did just show me a good tip for someone that's first time doing it. He has just stabbed it with a flathead screwdriver, and that made it then come out a lot quicker. So yeah, we're just gonna give it a little bit of a clean up round there. After we've cleaned it up, we're gonna put the dipstick back in. Make sure it's back in there, because we'll check the oil in a second. We'll put the cap back on. Put it on pretty tight. And now we will check the oil.
So now you're going to want to wipe it with that cloth. Put it back in.
Can't get in.
Now, personally, I just like to count to 5 in my head. You can do it out loud if you prefer.
Can't count to 5.
Me either. Pull it out. And you want to check your level on there. So if we spin it round, you can see your level is just up to, I don't know if it's coming up anywhere, just on the top of my fingernail. So it's just around the maximum line, which is where we need to be.
Perfect.
Obviously, once the engine's been running, we'll then circulate that new oil. We'll check that when it's also on the flat, because we haven't taken it off the jack stands yet either.
So now we're going to change the air filter. So we'll just unclip these like so. Is there any more? No. And then clip it off like so.
I know. It looks like previous owner didn't even have an air filter.
That's great.
So good job we're putting one in.
Absolutely. So
says air filter on the top. Yeah.
on the back. On the back. Unboxing.
You look around it.
Right. So I presume it goes in. We'll put it on and then we'll get it clipped in. I need to make sure it's definitely on. And we'll clip that back in. Like so. And that is how you change an air filter, and that was my first time that I've ever changed an air filter.
So air filter's been done, oil's now in, oil filter and a new sump plug seal has been put in, so hopefully no leaks. We're going to turn the car on just to double check. Whilst the car's running, going to look underneath, make sure there's no leaks. As long as there's no leaks, it can come off the jack stands and we can double check that oil level at the end before we move on to the cabin filter. So let's hope she runs. Battery's a little bit weak, but we can always look at replacing it or putting it on a health charge thing, cycle, whatever they want to call it. So we're going to go underneath, we're going to double check that everything's bone dry, no leaks from the oil filter housing or from the sump plug, because they're the things I've touched. If there is, then we'll blame Daniel.
Yeah, blame me. So it's going to be a difficult one to see, only because somebody, not naming names, Daniel, decided to spill oil all over my nice garage floor. But there's me rubbing the sump plug and it looks bone dry. That's the bottom of the oil filter housing. We've got a little bit of weepage, but I'm going to check that to make sure it's not from what Daniel had spilt, because it looks very clean.
So double check the oil filter, and it's bad news for Daniel because he can't pour oil into an engine. He's
the first time, leave me alone.
Stop it giving excuses. So he's poured the oil in and it's just dripped straight down the back of here. You can see where it's still a little bit wet there. And I don't know if you can see it properly, but directly down there where I'm pointing, is the top of the oil filter housing. So he's made a bit of a mess, but it's okay. We forgive him, we never forget. But the car's fine, so we're going to flick it off for now, just so we don't get gassed out inside of the garage. We take it off the jack stands, we're going to double check the oil level, make sure everything's okay, and then we're going to crack on with the cabin filter. Now that it's off the jacks and the jack stands, we're going to check the oil level. We were going to replace the cabin filter, but I have been missold. This car does not have a cabin filter, just like my MX-5. Seems to be only the aircon models that come with one. So what we're going to do is we've taken the dipstick out, we'll give it a quick wipe, and then what I like to do is I like to count to 5 in my head. Like Daniel said though, he can't count to 5. We're going to pull it out just to double check, and as you can see there, the residue's just up to the maximum, so that's the perfect amount of oil that we need. So that is the service. Once I can put the dipstick back in, there we go. That is the service, all complete and all ready for the new owner. So that's what we're going to get up to today. We've completed the service, minus the cabin filter. I was missold on that one.
So thank you for everyone that's watching. Thank you for everyone that's subscribing. We do really appreciate it, and take care, people. See you later.
Bye bye.
That's a wrap for the day.